Hey everybody, Adhpa here. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're having a good week. Doing the opening from my new favorite sitting location. Um, I'll show you what I'm seeing and why it's my favorite location. You can get an idea. I get a lovely view out of the windows from this spot. Um, so I really like this spot. Anyway, so I thought it'd be fun to start the opening from here. Doing a series. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Adhpa. That's the name I use for my channel. I have it's just a nickname. And what I do is I explore human energy dynamics. That's we understand sort of how to put energy into our bodies to eat and rest and exercise and do all that stuff. But we really don't understand a whole lot about how human energy interfaces with consciousness and the dynamic that's involved in using intention to create things. But it's all really tied into human energy dynamics. So that's what I explore. It's a philosophy. And part of that is understanding that our intuitive faculties are very much part of the human energy dynamic, and they're a tool for us, individuals who may or may not be connected to an internet or anything along those lines, to have something within our human system to allow us to deal with the unseen things in reality and function and live well. Because humans can live with or without internet, but they can't really live without intuition. So how does it work is, of course, what I'm hoping to generate exploration in to help us better understand. But to the end that I believe that it is integral, I use my intuition and tools such as cards to read on questions or concepts or explore ideas. And that's what I'm doing with this series of pulling a weekly card from the Sacred Path cards by Jamie Sams. And then I'm doing a full tarot reading on that to explore what that means for us. Now I do that in the context of pulling cards for the collective, for all in the energy life field, which is what I call this realm that exists between earth and sky, and in a universe, and upon which, within which this life field, all the life that we understand exists. And there, of course, could be other planets with similar life fields, but we're on this planet in this life field. And because it is a field, everything is connected in it. So there are energy flows that flow through the field and affect all the beings in the field in various ways. So for this week, I'm going to pull for the week. What is the energy for the week for the collective? Give us a sacred card to help us understand what we need to know, let's say, about the energy of the week ahead for the collective for highest good, right? Because the intention, what you're looking for when you're using your intuition, is going to color where your intuition sends you, what direction it sends you. So I'm always looking for highest good for the collective. What's the energy for the week to manifest highest good for the collective? Let's see if one jumps. Don't have one really jumping. We'll give it another go round. And if one doesn't jump, I'll just cut the deck and take the one from the top. Oh, we got one. Pulled out to the side. Okie dokie. And there it is. And it is, very interesting. East Shield, Illumination, Clarity. Now, I find that extraordinary since for this week, as it happens in the United States, the president is in the East trying to make deals and we'll be there for the whole week. So this is something about this week, though, because the East Shield is the East, also represents where the sun comes up. It's the light. It's where it represents thought, air energies, communications. So this week is going to be an extremely illuminating and clarifying week, according to this card, which I think is extraordinary. Could be really great for everybody. I'm feeling good about the energy coming in this week. So, but I will do a full read on it and see what the tarot card has to say. The tarot cards have to say. I think we'll use the good tarot today and clarify it. Maybe with a universal clarifier, like some sort of stellar clarifier. Come on down. I'll go over to my desk. I'll pull out the decks. We'll have a look, and then we'll do the reading. All right? Great. Hang tight while I move shop to the other room. Here, I'll take you on a little tour with me just for fun. Oh, you want to see this side, don't you? Of course you do. Okay. Okie dokie. So we'll use the good tarot, and we'll use the star code oracle to clarify. Heather Rowan Robbins. All right. Good tarot, by the way, is Colette Baron Reed. Okay. I have shuffled. I'll shuffle a little bit more, and then we'll pull on tell us about East Shield, illumination and clarity for the coming week. What does this mean for the collective? What do we need to understand about this East Shield? Using the East Shield, the shield of illumination, the mind, air. Illumination and clarity. One that's turned already, so I usually take that's the one that wants to be at the top. Getting a quick answer this week. Cards really want to say. And the clarifiers. Alrighty. Let's see what we get for a signifier. Oh, well, there it is. Page of Air. This is the one that heralds in the things of all things of communication, the mind, legal, ethereal, ephemeral. The thing about the air is it's all the ephemeral things. They exist like clouds in the moment, and then they disperse. So this page is the one that heralds it in, that brings the message, that tells you this is the time. This is the time to open the door to that those aspects of the mind. And that is clarified by, let's see if we're upside down here. No, okay, so cultivate Taurus reversed. There has been, Taurus is very much an earth energy. There has been some very poor earth choices being made that are cultivating the wrong things for the earth, that are driving it in the wrong direction. And so this is signifying that we have to apply thinking to this situation. And the challenge is, Fortune's wheel. Yeah, I think we had this challenge come up last week too, or it was what couldn't be controlled, maybe, was the Wheel of Fortune. The thing about the Wheel of Fortune is, one day you're up, one day you're down. People on the top are suddenly at the bottom. People that have been at the lowest are suddenly elevated. This can go a lot of different directions, because you can have, for instance, a fairly stable situation that suddenly becomes unstable and shifts everybody's positions all at once. Or you can have a slow movement of people moving along that wheel, taking the steps, building up the ladder to get there. And then other people leaving through attrition, through passing on, moving out of it. So the Wheel of Fortune is, we don't know how quickly it's going to turn. Who's going to be cast off the wheel? And that is clarified by the North Node, the future. We have no idea how the future is going to affect the fortunes of the energy of the beings in the life field. What we have control over, the 9 of water, or like the 9 of cups. This one has control over the treasure. You see, she's over the treasure, and she loves the treasure, and she's holding maybe a piece of the treasure close to her heart. And she's looking over it. Now, in a typical deck, this is that merchant card, the satisfied merchant with his 9 cups before him. So, but this is about energy, water energy, and we had control over all of the precious manifestations of that energy. We had it all before us. And clarified by Neptune and vision. Neptune is that watery. So, when you see through the water, things look different in the water, different size, different shape. And how we used our inner energy, strength, to deal with all the treasures that we have is what we have control over. That's the part we have control over. The past affecting the situation now is the King of Earth. This is the King of Pentacles. You could say this is about actual leaders, actual kings. It's more about how we directed the external energy of well-being and for protection of the earth. And recently, there has been, or in the past, there has been an attempt to direct it for the well-being of all. It was a good effort. It's clarified by Uranus, change. And something changed. There was an effort to change the way we did it, to direct the change in a good way in the past, that the change that's required to create the well-being for all was being directed in a good way in the past. What we can't control is the 7 of fire. This is like the Seven of Wands. This is like the defending, the guy up on the hill defending himself against all comers. You know, this is a unicorn and fairies. There is something in this aspect for this deck of that card that is mystical, mythical, and maybe it's the belief in the mythical that we cannot control. We cannot control. There's something magical, resonant about the unseen beings, the realms of the fairies and unicorns and the tales of great knights. But this unicorn is wearing a saddle, but there's no one sitting on this unicorn. So whoever saddled up this unicorn has no ability to ride it. There's a passion beyond the ability of the human to stay seated on this kind of passion. And that's what we can't control. That seems to be what this represents in this deck, as clarified by Virgo. Digest. Yeah, we can't control. Maybe the way to read this is we can't control the kinds of unseen energies that the world wants to digest, the belief systems, the passions, even if they seem mythical and undefendable, indefensible to us, unrealistic. We can't control the extent to which people take that in. What the intention is creating Six of Cups. This is a nostalgia card, a longing card. She's looking in the water. The reflection may be hard to see. The reflection is not exactly her. Her hands are clutched differently in the reflection. There's subtle differences. This is about something she longs for that's lost, right? So we often think of it as nostalgia. And she's caught between the cliffs, one with the stormy clouds and one with these mystical orbs floating over it that seem to be, the movement of planets, the uncontrolled movement of planets upon her life or something along those lines. So I'd say that in the short term, what we're creating with this clarity or working with this energy to understand is what we're longing for, what we're missing that we're trying to retrieve, as clarified by 10th house authority. What do we have the power and authority to bring back? Where we are in relation to this? 14, patience. Patience. This is a higher arcana. This is saying that, we have to wait it out. In a normal deck, the 14 is the Temperance card. So how we see ourselves in relation to the energy of the week coming in being about the East Shield and illumination and clarity. There's a tempering going on. Either it's going to temper these beliefs, these out of control passions. That we could see this as tempering it. It could be that we temper our reaction to all the communications that come in to bring clarity. It could be the clarity itself tempers our fears over the worst case scenario as we come to understand maybe something that isn't that bad with clarity. It's hard to say. But that is clarified by first house arrival. You know, it's like we've been waiting for this. There is something coming in that we have been patiently waiting for, and now it has arrived. And you might feel great joy and relief because this has finally arrived. At the same time, the joy for it has been tempered by the struggle that it took to get there. And the environment in which we sit is the moon. There is something about this that is done in the night, hidden from normal view. Could be takes a cycle, a moon cycle to unfold. We're coming up very rapidly now to the next full moon. So this could represent that this energy will be with us right up until the full moon. And that's clarified by source sun. Oh, so that's telling me that this very much is about a cycle. So when we're dealing with this clarity, we're seeing cycles. Maybe even bringing light onto those hidden things. But I think this is really saying that this energy is going to hang around through the full moon, because the sun is, when the moon is full, the sun is shining directly on its face. So I think that's what that's saying. All right, hopes and fears, 6 of air. This is what you would call the moving into calmer waters, trying to sail away from your troubles, leave your troubles behind. It's interesting because even though he's sailing on the sea, the clouds are down here as well. So there's an aspect of sailing away forever into the mists of time with this deck. And maybe there is something about, we just really, we want to steer this ship to a safe harbor. Clarified by Mercury and messages. Maybe there is a hope in getting a message about someone in particular leaving, or the ability for certain people to leave, or obviously it could be the obvious opposite of that, the fear of people leaving and abandoning us, that kind of thing. Okay, outcome for the week, the Fool card. This is the start of something new. There is so much of this feels like a rebirth, a new beginning about to unfold. Like something with this clarity shifts things so much that it creates a whole new beginning. As clarified by the 3rd house, communication. So there's going to be some new, out of all of this clarity, is going to create some new beginning in the way that we are communicating, maybe the way we're thinking about things. And bottom of the deck, we have the messenger of air. The messenger of air, I believe in this deck, that's akin to your knight. So this is the, you know, wanting to take actions on this clarity. If it were reversed, they'd be, you know, rash actions. But in this deck and an upright, it seems like very much that this is saying this is the message of the East shield for us that we've asked for. And it's being brought to us to help us to understand something about how this energy, what we need to do with it for the week. And that's clarified by Libra and balance. It's, yeah, there is some great awakening, awareness, clarity coming in that's going to balance things. It's going to create new kinds of communication. And it's going to, in some way, challenge maybe the authority of those that would try to take us back in time to things that cannot be retrieved. There is something new going on instead. This is about something we have waited for has arrived, and it's going to change communication. Very interesting. Hold on and I'll bring you up and we'll close it out. Pretty fascinating read. It's easy when you're doing these readings to put your own tenor on it, and I don't really want to do that. That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get information that isn't just confirming my bias. So I appreciate any feedback anyone can give me on this reading. Let me know what you think it means, how you read it. I think for me, what this is saying is that we can expect some clarifying information to come in this week. And if we pay attention to it, it could affect our fortune and our well-being in the future for the life field and for humanity. I think this is an important week. Something important is shifting, changing in the way maybe humanity even communicates this week. So we'll see what that means. I'm very fascinated by this one. Let me know what you think. Like, share, subscribe. It's all free and it helps me out. And I'd appreciate any help you can send my way. All right, folks, have a great week. Love you. See ya.